Hello everyone, this is Artsy Fartsy Nobody presenting my second video. This video will talk about Campus Clarity, which is a course that we have to take online for my school as freshmen. And yeah, it's like the drug and alcohol course. Like before you take your permit, the online course, it's like that, but it's more updated, it's groovy, and it's supposed to, you know, be relatable to college students. It talks about like how much alcohol is in each drink, like a beer, a cocktail, a shot, how much you're really consuming, you know, how to take care of someone who's dying of alcohol poisoning, the Bacchus position, or, you know, put them face down, which is like different like drugs and like what to do, like stories, horror stories pretty much. Terrifying horror stories from real life college students, you know, talking about like, oh, I should never have drank that much that night because my friend died, you know, things like that that just freak me out. And I actually just, I took a break from it, and I stopped right before they were talking about date rape, and I'm just, Did you know that 1 in 4 women get raped in college? That's a pretty scary. Okay, so in the beginning of Campus Clarity, they introduce you to these 4 characters. You have the athlete, who is secretly gay. He's a track guy. You have this chick, who's punk rock and all about female empowerment. Yeah! You have the art student, who is from all over the world because she's an army brat. And she, of course, has to be vegan, because, you know, all art students are fucking vegan. And then you have the nerd computer science guy, who is just a dweeb. They were giving us scenarios, and the first thing they were talking about is hooking up, and the definition of hooking up. Hooking up generally means, you know, you're at a party or at a club or whatever, and you see some really cute guy, and you're like, I want that slab of meat. I want that with steak sauce all over it, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, you do it, do whatever, and then the next morning you wake up with a hangover and you completely regret what you've done. You're like, well, shit. And then it turns out he's in your class, and so you have to avoid eye contact with him the entire time, because you're completely, like, embarrassed, like, because, you know, the night before, he was a 10 in your eyes. He was just God. But then, you know, when you sober up, you realize he was not the slab of meat you screwed last night. And so you're kind of like, oh, I screwed that, oh shit. They used the scenario. They used punk rock chick and artist chick. So the artist chick, she's upset because she broke up with her boyfriend, so she's just like, I'm just gonna start a relationship, you know, date someone, and I hope I'll find someone at this college party. The rocker chick doesn't give a shit about her, so she's just like screwing around, drinking beers, whatever. And then the art student is like, is eyeing this guy, the guy in the blue shirt. Specifically, he was in a blue shirt. So they like described him as that, the guy in the blue shirt. So, you know, she's eyeing on this guy, and the guy looks at her, and she looks at him, and so like, ugh. And the next morning, she was like, yeah, we hooked up. Yeah, I sent him a text message today, you know, hoping that we'll talk. But, you know, he never responded. Fast forward a few months, she's just, like, pissed off because he completely blew her off. And I'm like, what did you expect? What did you expect from a hookup? Like, you expect them to fucking be, like, married to this guy? Like, that's not how it works. Even I know that. And so the moral of the story is pretty much communication, apparently, according to Campus Clarity. Because, you know, they said that the chick had way too many high expectations that have not been communicated before she screwed him. And then they were going with the guy's perspective, and he was like, ah, she's cute, I guess I'll screw her. And then, you know, the next day he's playing video games with his friend, and he was just like, yeah, she texted me, but, you know, I wasn't expecting, you know, her to want to talk to me, so I'm not gonna reply, because, you know, I don't want anything to do with her. Oh, that was pretty much his spiel. And then after that, they talked about more of the punk rocker chick, and she was just all stressed out because of, you know, sociology, and she was with I think it was the athlete, the gay athlete, either him, did I just say that? Him, or, the nerd, I don't know which one, I don't know, but she's, you know, good friends with one of them, and she's, like, stressed out, because, you know, she's a sociology major, and there's a lot of shit and essays to write and stuff, so she kind of decides to, like, go to parties a lot to ease the pain. I don't know about you, but I think my, way of kicking back and relaxing is, you know, taking naps, or watching Netflix, or do what I do. Do what I major in, which is illustrate stuff, you know, illustration, you know, draw shit. Yeah. Ugh. I don't know, but... So, you know, she's like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, smoke some weed to ease the pain, which I'm not objecting at all. You know, if you wanna smoke some dank, you know, go ahead, do it, you know? It's fine. I mean, I don't judge. But her friend, her little nerdy or athlete gay friend, I don't know which one, he was just like, oh, you're smoking weed? Ah! And it was like, oh, jeez. Like, he's like, oh my god, you're gonna be in so much trouble. Oh my god, you're gonna, like, oh, no wonder you're still, like, you're so burnt out and stressed out because you're smoking weed. It's like, calm your tits. Calm your tits! So then, they're at a party, and, you know, she's like, oh, I'm just gonna stick with beer because, you know, I'm exhausted. This chick took like 5-6 beers, like just bleh, 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 bleh. So she's already wasted by beer, which is retarded. And then she goes into a room with these people, and her friend, I don't know, her guy friend, kind of like peeks in and sees like them like kind of preparing lines of coke, and then he's just like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. And he was like, what are you doing? Mixing cocaine and alcohol is bad, and it is bad. And she's just like, I'm just trying to feel the college experience, and this is the college life. I've just been really stressful, and I just want to let it all out. And he's like, don't do that, because you're gonna get it taken advantage of. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And so then that was the end of that. Then it follows with real life college students, because this whole thing's animated, by the way. It's not like real people. But anyway, these are real college students. You know, they're being interviewed, and they're talking about their horror story experiences. There was this one chick, she was like, she looked really sad. There was no music. It was just her, just all depressed. And she's all like, I've had way too much to drink that night. We were drinking way too much for several hours. Just several shots and mixed drinks and beers and... yeah. And then I don't know how we made it back on campus. We came back... you know, I passed out. And then the interview guy says, well, what happened in the morning? She was like, I woke up in the morning and she just wouldn't wake up. She just wouldn't wake up. Then, she said that she died of asphyxiation. Well, no, she didn't say asphyxiation. She said aspiration. She died of aspiration. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was asphyxiation. I thought aspiration was a term used for like things to aspire. Like, what is your aspiration in life? I didn't know that it was a term used for choking in your own vomit. I always thought it was asphyxiation. And then it goes to another horror story of three guys who try shrooms for the first time. And one had a really bad trip and he was trying to jump out the window, and it was just all crazy shit. And they had to call the ambulance because he was really having a bad thing. And they sent him to the psych ward for 24 hours. And he was like traumatized after that. He was like, oh, it was the worst experience of my life. I'm like, oof. Things like that. Just gotta be careful and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I mean, it's very educational, like I said. But at the same time, I'm like it's kind of scary. Because they're like really... I mean, of course they're not trying to scare me or scare anyone. They're just trying to, like, let people know, like, hey, this is what happens in certain situations. And, yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, this entire thing is, like, common sense. Like, obviously you shouldn't just accept a drink from someone. You shouldn't mix cocaine with alcohol unless you really hate yourself and you don't like take care of yourself and you don't care whether or not you die that night. Still, that doesn't give you the excuse to do it. Obviously, don't drink and drive. Don't crash at a stranger's place. You never know what they're gonna do to you. It's talking to you ladies, talking to all the ladies out there, be careful. I hope a lot of people from my school take this and, you know, use it to their advantage, you know, this knowledge of, like, being careful. Because really, in a world filled with hormones and booze, you never know what's gonna happen. Yeah. So my next video will be in Boston. It's either gonna be at my sister's apartment or it's gonna be in my dorm. So I am excited for our next video, and I'm excited for Boston. So everyone, have fun. Have a nice Tuesday. And like I said, stay safe. Don't party too hard. Don't die. Don't die. Okay? Not tonight. Don't die.